This is your weekly trip to paradise, Louisiana style, with Gary Risponi and Don Dubuque. Paradise, Louisiana is presented by Rotolo's Pizzeria. Fresh ingredients, friendly service. That's just the way we Rotolo. Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Always fresh, never frozen, Raising Cane's. Louisiana Fish Fry Products. Demco, your touchstone energy cooperative. Pro Drive Outboards. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana. And Rouse's Markets. You're either local or you're not.
Welcome to another warm edition of Paradise, Louisiana, or an April edition of Paradise, Louisiana in January, Don.
It's warm. Is it fuzzy too, or just warm?
It's warm.
It's fuzzy?
It's just warm everywhere you go, but you'd be surprised. Some people still catching fish. People that we begging for cold weather still killing ducks. So, you know, but it affects a lot of other people hunting, especially deer and some ducks in other places.
Well, this weather played right into my hand this week. I got to make a trip with our buddy, the Crappie psychic, Captain Clyde Foltz, down there at Lake Boeuf, and caught some beautiful sockeye, white perch, crappie, the fish with all the different names. It looked like they were in a pre-spawn mode, and we'll talk more about that because that's what you can put to work to catch some yourself. Woodcock banquet, saw you there, had a good time, pretty good turnout.
Well, we got to talk to one of the biologists over there, Jeffrey Duque, and I was wondering if I had that Cajun name, but he was from Maine. But I forget, you know, when the people came from Nova Scotia, a lot of them
they stopped along the way before they came all the way down.
But he gave us some insight on it, and you talked to him. Also, we talk about athletes when they try to combine both outdoors and athletic. You did it when you was coming up high school. You had your daddy taking when you had a chance to go.
That was before I discovered girls. I had a lot of time then to dedicate to both. Yeah, I wasn't chasing girls like you were.
About it, you reckon you discovered girls. I believe the girls discovered you.
Whatever.
Because you know you was a superstar athlete. Every time I tell people, best running back in that
I keep getting better and better every year that goes by. Too. That's amazing how you can improve after your career's over. You get better. Yeah.
You must have been like a Charlie Toller or something. You know, I watch all these pro athletes now. Not only they big, they tall, they fast. It's unbelievable if you watch the playoffs. Don, going back to that though, this young boy, his family's all been hunting, fishing, and everything. But every time I go up to Tensas and hunt at their camp, he gets out of the woods or he hunts in another blind, and I've been wanting to do a little something on him because he kills his ducks, he kills his deer, and then all of a sudden he's going to the Catholic school he goes to. They got ball games on Saturday, so he's leaving early, so I don't get to talk to him. So we was up there, we had a bad hunt. We was in that swamp up there, and a timber hunt, which has always been good with Bobby Black. It's Bobby Black's nephew, David. His name is Davis Black, so we're going to visit that again.
All right, and also we got some news to talk about, a changeover of hands at a very popular marina that you've seen on this TV program. We'll talk about that, kind of give you the lowdown on what's left to go out and hunt. Some of the seasons, the duck is now closed in a couple of zones, deer's starting to fade out. You got some primitive weapon and archery still to come, so we got that in a small game too.
Right, we got a lot of first deer pictures to come up. We got 3 or 4 of them coming up this week. We got the results from the Bayou Black Southwest Junior Bass Masters Center, and you got a report on
the Minimalist Challenge put on by the Bayou Coast Kayak Fishing Club. We got some results there, and also talk about some upcoming events, and also our Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report. All coming up from the offices of CCA headquarters. You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Who doesn't want to save money on fuel? Now, Shell and the Fuel Rewards Network are putting you in control of how much you pay for fuel. Simply buy whatever's on your shopping list. Clothes, groceries, even dinner out. And earn cents per gallon savings at participating retailers nationwide. Now, fuel prices are in your hands. So why wait? Sign up at fuelrewards.com today and turn shopping power into saving power.
Visit Cracker Barrel convenience stores before heading fishing or hunting. We have more than you expect.
Box combo, please.
At Raising Cane's, we do one thing, and we do it better than anyone else. So why not let our food do the talking?
Love in the window.
Raising Cane's, only the best chicken finger meals. One love.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. And Gary, this little warm spell that we had last week really played into the hands for me on a fishing trip. Though I didn't get to go down to Grand Isle because the winds were severe, changed it to an inshore freshwater fishing trip with our buddy, Captain Clyde Foltz, known as the Crappie Psychic. And I'm thinking about changing that to the Crappie Psycho or the Crappie Psychotic, because you know this guy, and he is so passionate about fishing that fish and his rig system that he uses. He gets a little carried away with it sometimes. He's a lot of fun to be with and a good fisherman, too.
He's a super salesman. He works hard in what he was doing. You know, he's also a captain.
Right.
You know, that means he books fish trips when he got time, but he's getting so many products, and him and his lovely wife, by the way, they're great cooks. Every time I used to go with them, she'd bring food and
his wife owes me some red beans and rice. You know why? She cooked some and she wouldn't send them to us. You know why? Because she didn't have something nice enough to put them in. My cameraman said, "Hey, you ever hear of a Cool Whip dish?" And he said, "Oh, no, she would never do that." So, look, I ain't worried about the container. I'm worried about what's in the container.
Red beans and rice, you can put them in a Ziploc.
That's right. But he says she's got the best red beans and rice anywhere.
Well,
so I'm anxious to try.
She sent us some things to eat, crackling and different stuff when we went out. Chris was on that trip.
We're talking about a cooking feature.
I always bring boudin, hog, and cheese. So
maybe there's your cooking feature, right?
Let's talk about these new baits.
All right, I thought we'd never get to it. Went down to his home ground with him, Lake Boeuf, you know, which is located down there near Raceland. Nice little lake, got some adjacent canals, right there by a couple of the wildlife and fishery management areas. And it was on, you know, we fishing for those crappie, white perch, sockeye, speckled perch, papermouth. There's a whole bunch of names depending on where you come from, what you call them. And that's his specialty. And he has geared his whole system of fishing after 30 years of experimentation with what works and what doesn't. The way he rigs up, fishes with ultralight tackle. You don't need anything heavy, just real light spinning or casting reels. And then his rig begins with a torpedo cork. You rig it up 18 to 36 inches, depending on where the fish are, as far as the depth, also the depth of the water and where they find their comfort zone. And sometimes you got to work a little bit to find them. On the end of his line, he ties a 1/16 ounce jig head. Reason he likes the 16th ounce, it's big enough, he says, to keep most of the brim off. If you catch a goggle eye or a lake run, it's going to be a big one because of the size of that head. You can go down to a 1/32 if you want to end up catching brim, because this does attract and catch brim with his system. The jig head, he prefers unpainted, paints a couple of orange eyes on it. It's a flathead jig. They're a little hard to find. Archie is one of the few manufacturers that makes them. The reason he likes the flat, when it's dropping through the water, it's flipping more. It's giving off a little bit more shine and shimmer, so it's an attractant for the fish. He uses every little element to his advantage. Then he likes a white and black tube jig, not a common tube jig. You've probably fished with chartreuse white, blue and white, blue and silver.
It all depends on
that's
the area.
A lot of
his water where he fishes, it proved out that day. I was fishing blue and white, black, white, and he was putting it on me, so I changed. You know.
Well, from there, after the black and white tube jig, then he goes with what he calls his trailers. These are the trailers. It's just a little sliver of plastic. The main difference is you could cut these and make them yourself, but he's got a secret sauce, and he will not reveal the contents. It's like McDonald's Big Mac sauce. It's well guarded as far as what he puts in it.
Sauce.
He saturates them. He's got a variety of colors. These are the two popular ones, chartreuse and pink, but he's got about 5 different colors of these trailers. All right, so now you got the trailer on there, and also the latest is the Crappie Psychic Ammo. And he calls this ammo because it looks like a BB. It's like your little BB gun shoots. They come on a chain. You break them off individually, and you tip the tip of the hook down past the barb with the trailer, and now you've got the trailer and the ammo combination, the black and white tube jig, and the unpainted except for the orange eyes, and you're fishing underneath.
It goes to all the boat shows and
Yep.
outdoor shows, and I'm sure you'll be able to find me next couple months. But all the stores down there where he lives off of 90, I'll go in there and you'll find them in Superior Bait and Tackle.
He said that's one of his biggest distributors, Superior. They've got them there.
So.
Now, he also has expanded into the saltwater realm, and he's got one for speckled trout. And I know a lot of people that are fishing with the Dudleys and the Matrix and the Voodoos are tagging this little streamer on there. Again, it adds scent to it. A lot of saltwater fishermen. The Gulf's got some really good product lines of saltwater, and I think you're seeing more and more saltwater fishermen adding the element of scent to their fishing. As far as how the fishing went, he was disappointed because the day before he had an outstanding trip, and he was really excited. The trip we had, I considered an outstanding trip, but he was a little bit down because he thought we would do better than what we did. But we ended up with a bunch of nice slab, sockeye, white perch, whatever you want to call them, and caught some other freshwater species too. Action was steady. We didn't get an early start at all. We fished late in the afternoon till dark. Turned out real well. Had his nephew, Gene Bro, his son, Caleb Foltz, who also works with him in the business. And Lake Boeuf is a great place, connecting canals to a lake. It's got a lot of structure to fish in there around the grass. Kramer, you can come from the Raceland area, going as you're headed up towards Thibodeau. There's a lot of access to it. But that's not the only place. There's a lot of places, and he's tested, and he's had field testers use his system in other areas, Toledo Bend, Georgia, other states, and it's all successful. Now, you will see Clyde on this video, but he also called me. He was all excited. He said he and Caleb are going to be on the cover of Louisiana Sportsman magazine. So you might want to look for that too. But let's take it in. You can hear from him now. The Crappie Psychic Psychotic. The man loves fishing sockeye. Speckled perch, not to be confused with speckled trout. All right. Now these fish, no matter what you call them, are probably one of the most finicky fish around. That's why I'm fishing with the Psychic.
Well, it's called a Crappie Ammo, and it's going to be available at the end of this month, and it's going to be coming in 5 different colors. We're going to have chartreuse, pink, white, fluorescent yellow, and earthworm, which is going to be spectacular for those brim fishermen. Well, it serves 2 purposes for my techniques. Number 1, it's just a tiny little BB, kind of like when you were young, you had a BB gun. It's about the size of a BB. As a matter of fact, I can show it to you right here. It's just that tiny little ball on the outside edge of the trailer. And what it does, it adds more psychic sauce to your rig, and it keeps the trailer from sliding way up on the barb of the hook. So it keeps that trailer closer to your bait, your skirt, your hair jig, whatever you use. Kind of small. I'm gonna let him go. Well, I've been fishing sockeye for about 30 years, and I've always caught sockeye. But I noticed when I discovered this trailer about 2.5, well, it's actually about 4.5 years ago, because I used them for 2 years before we actually brought them to the market. I noticed I was catching more fish, and I noticed the fish, when they would strike, would hit it a lot harder. So like I said, I used them for 2 years before we decided to bring them to market, and I just noticed a big difference.
White perch, yeah.
Oh, like a crappie. Definitely a crappie. I have a few guides that I sponsor in the Toledo Bend area, and they actually use them with a live shiner. And they're having a lot of success because that trailer, every time that shiner moves, that trailer's moving too. So you double your action, plus they're scented with that psychic sauce. So they're using them in Toledo Bend, and I use them in the Bayou Black area a lot also. So really just about any area you fish, and I've fished in Georgia, Connecticut, so I've fished in a few other states, and that black and white jig with that chartreuse trailer works all over the country. That's what we're here for. That's what we're looking for. They're getting a little bigger in size. My customers would tell you we catch brim, crappie, catfish, bass, shoepick, bowfin, the real name, garfish are here. Just about every fish in the water will hit that trailer. It's amazing.
All right, here we go. All right, another nice white perch sac-a-lait, whatever you want to call them. Now, the limit on these is very generous, 50 per person. And if you get out here, your best months to do it is the colder months. But don't leave home without the secret sauce and the ammo.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
For more Paradise, Louisiana. Thank you.
Ask me about my Tempur-Pedic.
Ask me how fast I fall asleep.
Why not talk to someone who's sleeping on the most highly recommended bed in America?
Ask me about staying asleep.
Tempur-Pedic owners are more satisfied than owners of any traditional mattress brand.
Ask me how it feels after 10 years.
Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America.
Ask about Tempur-Pedic at Olin's, where you know you always get the guaranteed low price. Olin's is the only store in Baton Rouge and Lafayette with the full line of Tempur-Pedics.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. We're at the Louisiana CCA headquarters in Baton Rouge today. Gary, the 4th annual American Woodcock Society Becasse Chapter of the Rough Grouse Society. That's about the longest name for an event we've had in a long time. Huh?
Can you tell me, since you have French, what Becasse means?
Oh, sure. It's Woodcock.
A woodcock.
Yeah, Woodcock. That's why it's the Becasse Chapter.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
Yep.
And it's been growing by leaps and bounds. They had tornado warnings, and we were at the Chapter Club at Pat's over there. What's a beautiful location. By the way, how was that stuffed crab?
Oh, stuffed crab was pretty good.
It was all good. It was real good. I took some home, too. I swear I begged. But look, Don, you got to give credit to those people really putting on, especially Sean and Timmy Trahan.
Yeah.
They work hard on that thing all year, and we got a lot of our sponsors, Louisiana Fish Fry and some of the other people doing it. But they have some great gifts. But we got, besides all the people, and Dennis Landry and his wife Dot too. They had everything we go to. Ducks Unlimited, especially in Donaldsonville. When we're talking about food, we're discussing that people always call us and say, "Where's the best food you ever got?" Well, I'm gonna say it again. The best food you ever get, and I think they're gonna move the date on it, is still Donaldsonville. They have so much kind of seafood and gumbos and everything.
That's the Ducks Unlimited banquet.
The Ducks Unlimited banquet, Donaldsonville, still my best. But I'm supposed to make this short. Let me tell you this. We got to talk to Jeffrey Dugway over there. So when we go out with this, we had an interview with him about, we hearing a lot of mixed reports about where the woodcock. You having bad reports in Pearl River?
Yeah.
I heard that it wasn't in the Indian Bayou and them. Now, I talked to Stephen Pelletier, and he sent me some pictures. He's telling me that in all that warm weather, from Christmas up until then, they've been finding birds in the Chapel Spillway and Sherburne and other places. So, what do you think?
Well, it's one of those things where, woodcock, it's a crazy bird. You can find little pockets of them in areas, and other areas they're not going to be there. Some years they come, some years they don't. But, background on it, those folks from the Rough Grouse Society, I mean, that's mostly Minnesota, Maine, Wisconsin, those areas up there, and they wanted to include us in it. And of course, we don't have grouse here, so the American Woodcock Society chapter was formed, and we've got our own little niche, our little Becasse, and it's wonderful that those people come down here.
Your staff comes down here too. We had Nick Lawson, the regional director, but Mark Faust, who's been down here every day, he's done made multiple hunts. I think it was supposed to go the next day, but I think that bad weather.
It was really
bad.
bad.
It was Friday night, and Saturday was really bad. Tornadoes and everything. I don't know if they did, but we'll find out. And then they welcome the regional biologists. So
I think they come for the food, to tell you the truth.
Come for the food? I don't know.
The Cajun food, they love it when they come.
When that first time we made hunts over there in Beulah Rose, and we see them woodcock fly, it keeps bringing you back too.
As it does. Well, the proceeds from this event go to better manage the woodcock species through our State Department and in conjunction with the Woodcock Society. But one of the other purposes of it is to kind of update the members on what's going on, what they're doing, how the money's being spent. And Jeffrey Duquay with the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries kind of heads up, as he calls it, the webless foot bird division of the Wildlife and Fisheries.
He got a long name.
Yeah. And asked him some questions about what's going on and some exciting new project they're getting ready to embark on. So here he is at the Becasse Society of the American Woodcock Society's banquet, talking with us about woodcock management.
As far as hunting goes, I've gotten some reports. Opening day, several people said they had some really good hunts. I went the second day of the season. I had a pretty good hunt, put up about 15 birds or so, but it's been really spotty. Some people are finding birds, other people are going out not finding birds. I think part of it is, now it's gotten pretty warm. It's been warm up north too, and the cold weather will really push them down. So if you're not getting cold weather up north, then we're not going to get as many birds coming down.
So at best, we're probably looking at an average season when it's
right.
over.
Yeah, I would say so, probably about an average season.
Jeff, you mentioned some new telemetry studies that you're doing. Tell us about that. That's going to provide some very important data.
Yes, it will. We're working with LSU. We're providing some funding and working with them. Working with Brett Collier, he's a professor there, and Lisa Alonzo. She's a graduate student. And what we're doing is we're looking at wintering ecology of American woodcock. We have some what's called pinpoint transmitters on these birds. And these transmitters will give us a very accurate location within 1 meter of where these birds are spending their time. And they're taking a reading every hour and a half. So we're getting some good information on where they're spending their time in the day, also where they're spending their time in the night, and what they're doing, between the woods and open areas at night. When are they leaving? How far are they flying? What time of day? Those sorts of things.
How will that data help you better manage woodcock or maybe help hunters?
Right. Well, as far as management goes, it'll give us some really good information on the types of habitat they're using, so we can then take that information and use it to create better habitat for woodcock. And also, as far as hunters go, it'll give them an idea of how far are they from nocturnal areas, and do they spend the daytime near them? Do they go far away? So it might give them a better idea of where they could look for birds when hunting.
When do you anticipate that information will be made available to the public?
The graduate student, Lisa, she should finish up this field season, so in February, and then it'll take her a few months to, several months to analyze the data and everything. So I would say probably by early summer, she should have her results.
And she will make that available at a commission meeting, or will there be a written report or website information?
Well, she'll write her master's thesis on it, so that'll be available through LSU at the library. And we'll also publish that in scientific journals as well.
Very good. Things are looking good for the improvement of the habitat and for the hunters.
Right, they are. We're working hard, LSU and other folks are.
Thank you.
For the thirsty, for those who hang out in packs, for heroes, for sidekicks, for those who see the glass half empty, for those who see it half full, for those on the right, for those on the left, for those with nicknames, for those with curves, for people that cycle, for people that recycle, for BFFs, for frenemies, for those with style, for lovers, for families, for big families, for everyone.
You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. And Gary, we talked about, you know, the juggling of events when you're a young kid. You know, you got athletics, you got school, trying to get hunting and fishing in, and in some cases dating gets into it. You came across a young man that seems to do a good job of balance.
Right. His family owns a lot of acreage up there in Tensas, and his uncles, they all hunt and fish. His dad, he brought up hunting and fishing. But I could feel for him, because I know when I came up, my daddy would wake us and we were playing ball. My daddy run dogs, and sometimes he didn't have no friends. He wanted the boys out there. He'd raise the dogs for us. And he'd wake us up, and we'd be sleeping. He said, come on, let's go run the dogs, and we'd get appetite. So, you know, my daddy blessed us with keeping us in the outdoors. But he never missed a football game. He would be there all the time. So I'm sure you come up with all your brothers, all y'all playing. When did you find time to hunt?
Well,
you was a more inner city guy too.
Yeah, well, we had to travel to do it, but you know, my dad made time, you know, and he'd pack us all in and get a gang of us go out there. We went as a group, all ages, and got to do it. And then, you know, eventually when I started driving, I started taking my younger brothers, you know, and kind of like I was their guide, their dad, you know.
Yeah. This is Davis Black, and some of the trials he go through, but main thing was bragging how blessed he is for his family. They got some of the best hunting and fishing territory in central Louisiana. Welcome to Emerson Plantation again, and this is one of the family members that's probably going to inherit this paradise. Now, how long? This is Davis Black. You're on the other side of the family. This plantation has been in the Trevilian family, or Trivion, depending on how you say it in Cajun. It's been in the family since the turn of the century, your uncle was telling me. How old are you, Davis?
13.
Where you go to school?
Santa out in Vicksburg.
Yeah, with us. And how long you been coming here and hunting? You remember how old you were when you first started hunting here?
Probably 5.
Yeah. You know, you got all this in your family. It's a paradise. Y'all kill deer, ducks, rabbits, squirrels. This morning, with no duck flying, y'all killing squirrels. Tell me, what do you like most about just coming here?
Hunting, be with the family.
What's your favorite hunting? Deer, ducks, what?
Duck.
Yeah. You know how blessed you are?
Yes, sir.
Huh? There's people envy you. People in the city, they get to go hunting once or twice. You got this anytime you want it. And you play sports. Yeah. Well, tell you what, our black cloud in the day, first time they didn't have a limit this year, I believe. But I missed him last year. He was here. He killed a bunch of, but he was one of them multiple talented young men. He had a basketball game. He had to go. He wasn't gonna miss. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You gonna invite me back, even though I'm black cloud?
Yes, sir.
Now, one last question I ask all young men, especially people that good looking. How many girlfriends you got?
None right now.
Look at that when we're gonna look back there. You watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Hey, I'm Mitch Rotolo, owner of Rotolo's Pizzeria. Our pizzas are prepared every day using the freshest ingredients. But Rotolo's has so much more to offer than just delicious pizza. We have an array of healthy salads and tasty wraps, a wide choice of pasta like spaghetti and chicken parmesan, zesty buffalo wings, and our selection of savory calzones. And don't forget to try one of our amazing desserts, Come into any of our local restaurants or check out our entire menu online at rotolos.com. That's just the way we Rotolo.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today.
Wow, he got it!
I'm John Jackson, and you know we always say we gather our groceries out the bayou. Whether it's freshwater, saltwater, catfish, redfish, you have tons of choices when it comes to fish in Louisiana. But when I fry fish, there's only one choice, and that's Louisiana fish fry. My new favorite, the Cajun fish fry, has the perfect amount of cornmeal, corn flour, and the perfect mix of spices that really bring the heat. Hey, if you're craving Cajun, go look for the bright red bag at your local grocers. Bring home the taste of Louisiana with Louisiana Fish Fry.
As members of a Touchstone Energy cooperative, we've all got a job to do. And the more we work together, the more we save. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy cooperative.
Welcome to the Flambeau Outdoor News segment of Paradise, Louisiana. And Gary, I want to thank Flambeau Outdoors for sending this heated vest. We're going to get our cameraman, editor Chris Lecoq, to do a little field testing for us. But, boy, this is very nice material. It's light and keep you warm on a deer stand or in a duck blind on a goose pit.
You know, and I thought the little bags they had, how they kept me warm on that goose hunt.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, but it was hand warming for. Now, I can imagine what that is. It got pockets for all that.
And it's battery powered and fits nice and snug.
And they come in camouflage.
Yeah, they do. All right, well, we'll get a report from Chris on that follow-up on how it works out for him. Gary, in news, you know, we had a couple of events that took place. We had a kayak tournament called the Minimalist Challenge. And the reason they call it that, this is the Bayou Coast Kayak Fishing Club. It's minimal because they give you 3 baits, and everybody's got to fish with the same baits.
They all come from Pure Fishing, Berkeley.
They do. They're one of the sponsors. So you're limited on what you can use. It's a combination of catching redfish and trout. I had Brendan Bayard, who, by the way, finished in 3rd place. He was on the radio with me, and he made a prediction in all that bad weather. He said, look, it's different this time. The redfish is going to be the tough one to catch and keep. The trout fishing is not going to be a problem, so I'm going to concentrate on that. He finished 3rd. Clayton Schilling was 2nd, and Devin Belts was the winner of it. 125 boats. It had been sold out for months ahead of time. It's very, very popular, and they can only accommodate so many people.
I saw them stringers. I didn't realize, you know, most people, if you got a Grand Slam or you got 3 or 4 fish, but them, you could almost have a limit. There were 15 of trout and the redfish, they caught some stringers.
They did, and under some very tough weather conditions. Berkeley soft jerk baits and topwater baits were the ones that they were using to catch the fish on that Minimalist Challenge. So congratulate to the kayakers. Also, Junior Southwest Bassmasters had a tournament. I was concerned. I was looking at the radar. I said, are they going to send those kids out? But evidently, that far south down by Bayou Black, it wasn't that bad down there.
No, they held them up, though. They held them up till they went by them. They held them up. When they all went out, here's again, Bayou Black, Bob Bayou Black Marina, Junior South Mass out of Denham Springs. And this is the 7th year that they've been in existence. But these kids, you know, they're doing well in national tournaments and everything. So let me read you the results and show you some pictures. In the 15 to 18-year age group, 1st place was Hanson Cheney from Walker. In the 11 to 14-year age group, 1st place was Logan Guy from Walker, and in the 7 to 10-year age group was Caden Sellers from Denham Springs, and then out of the division was Jared Calloway from Walker. You look at some of these 50 pounds, there's a lot of 8-pound stringers. So you figure 5 fish on them kind of days down in Bayou Black, them kids are amazing.
Well, you know, we start to see some of these young guys' names repeat time after time. These are going to be the bass fishing tournament stars of the future. You're going to be hearing about them fishing in maybe the Classic, you know, fishing the Bass Federation finals, some of the elite tournaments. These will be the ones.
I'm telling you, and these kids already nationally, you know, they come 1-2. International Bass.
And we can be proud of them and also be proud of the folks that organize that, the leaders.
And
they
their
do a
parents,
great
the
job.
parents for being
Absolutely.
involved in there and
For
all the
getting them there.
sponsors. Yeah, but look, we also got a big event coming up on February 11th, 7 a.m. to noon. Get out and fish at Turner's Pond in Minden. That's been a good. Cool weather means they're going to load them ponds with rainbow trout, and they're expecting a large crowd. So you can go on the Wildlife and Fisheries website and also find out more about it.
All right, we got a big change in management coming up down at the Breton Sound Marina, one of the places we fish out of for some of the features for this show. Glenn Sanchez and Karen, they are retiring after a long time down there. They've been doing a great job helping people out, find the fish, having the bait ready for them at some real tough hours. Had a little retirement party down for them there at the Breton Sound Marina, so we congratulate them and welcome Glenn into the recreational fishing community upon his retirement. So thanks for a lot of years, Glenn, of really helping people out.
Thank you, too, for the tips you give us all the time. But I want to say this, one more thing. You know, we're reading all these things off, taking a lot of time. Just check out our event calendar right now, because for the next 2 months, there's some very important and big tournaments coming up. Bass tournaments, all charity reasons, hunts, and different things that are coming up. So check it out.
All right, we'll be back with the hunting report and our Berkeley Abu Garcia fishing report here at Paradise, Louisiana.
Hey, I'm Mitch Rotolo, owner of Rotolo's Pizzeria. Our pizzas are prepared every day using the freshest ingredients. But Rotolo's has so much more to offer than just delicious pizza. We have an array of healthy salads and tasty wraps, a wide choice of pasta like spaghetti and chicken parmesan, zesty buffalo wings, and our selection of savory calzones. And don't forget to try one of our amazing desserts. Come into any of our local restaurants or check out our entire menu online at rotolos.com. That's just the way we Rotolo.
Hey, this is Chris LeGrand from Southside Cafe. Stay tuned for more Paradise, Louisiana.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today. Welcome to the Berkeley Abu Garcia fishing report and our hunting report. Gary, starting off with fishing, I tell you, it hadn't really slowed down. We had a little rough weather came in over the weekend, but we saw the results of the Junior Southwest Bass Masters. We saw the results of the Minimalist Challenge. Didn't really slow anybody down. And the reports I'm getting continue to be good, especially for speckled trout. And somebody made a comment that it seems like we're 30 to 45 days behind. We have been getting right now, which is normally a pretty tough time for speckled trout fishing, some pretty good action that we might have seen in a November or an early December, and hopefully we'll push right on into the spring run and really not have a whole lot of downtime as far as the winter.
The Super Bowl's 2 more weeks, you know.
Exactly.
Constant train, I'm still getting reports. People said, I'm not sure we this time of year we don't do it. Catch big trout, but now they're catching numbers too.
And big ones out there. One thing, if you're going to be fishing those bridges on Pontchartrain, be ready for some company. I'm getting reports of as many as 100 boats out there.
What about off the bank too? There's a lot of people when there's cold weather. Highway 1 also out there by the Breton Sound Marina.
Yeah, we hadn't got that hard cold yet, and I don't see it in the
but
forecast,
people
but it
are
may
catching
come.
some fish off the banks.
Yep.
And on the South Shore over there. Mr. LaFosse and them, they're catching fish. People are still catching. They were catching crabs. I told you, I was catching crabs like crazy in Salt Bayou, but all of a sudden they're gone. I mean, the other day I didn't catch hardly no crabs. I don't know where the trout are moving out, but you know, Lake and the Lake Catherine, all those areas right now are still catching fish. But the winds that you have today and all this last weekend, I don't see how you can fish anywhere in an open body of water. So Don, that's the freshwater. They're still catching fish in Big Lake. They're starting to turn on. They're catching redfish also in the marsh around Big Lake. That's the only reports I've got.
You know where the old Crab Lady Canal is out that way?
What you
The
call it?
old Crab Lady Canal.
No.
I'm getting good. I couldn't find it. I guess I'd have to look for an old Crab Lady.
Somebody told you?
Yeah, got a report that the old Crab Lady Canal is where they're picking up a lot of fish for both trout and reds. So.
But is that maybe, there's a lot of people crab and fish off the bank in Hackberry. They off them little roads, off the side of the road, they catch a lot of fish.
Yeah, it could be some bank fishing.
Maybe so.
We'll investigate that a little more.
But coming from that area, Slade Abass sent me some pictures of some big sac-a-lait he catch in Vermilion. He's fishing out of Don's boat landing. He's fishing Shauna. So the bass reports is the same thing southwest. I hear people were catching them. I went over Henderson the other day when we was going to the Woodcock banquet. I looked around there. The Henderson's look like it's going down, clearing up a little bit. So pretty soon I hope I get some, because I've been wanting to do this. I want to make a Sunday, to go to church. I want to go down and fish Henderson, or bass, or sac-a-lait, or whatever. Then I want to go to Pat's and eat. Then I want to go dance at Chapter Club. I'm gonna make that a segment.
Yeah, there you go. You got it all mapped out.
I'm ready.
All right, while we're talking about freshwater fishing, Chef Pass still getting reports of a considerable amount of bass coming in there, mixed in with guys fishing for speckled trout and reds too. They tell me they're using frogs, Texas rigs, fishing the points, middle of the channel off the grass beds. They're catching them there. So again, we showed you what's happening over there in the Zalmans, Lake Boeuf area with the white perch. That's coming on. Won't be long before we get some really nice brim reports in too.
Yeah. You got some tournament trails coming up.
Dockside Team Trail, that's going to be February 4th on the East Pearl. That's the first in there. They've also got some later on coming up at Bayou Sinette and North Pass at Manchac. Fishing for Tucker, that's also next week, $100 per team. Fishingfortucker.com. You can find out more information on that right there. Now, you ready for some hunting information?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I made my last farewell duck hunt for the coastal and west zones last week. Went out to the Lake Catherine area. Pickings were slim. Ducks extremely wary. I mean, we had a pair of grays 10 times, I counted. They circled, and never really flared off, just flew off. We ended up getting a redhead, a gray duck, a pretty widgeon, and we ended up shooting a bufflehead for Danny, the Labrador Retriever. So I did get reports that Delacroix was a little slow for the last weekend, but then also got another report that it looked like Argentina with the teal down there. On the very last day, somebody got into them and found a spot, I guess, where it was still holding some food and made a great hunt down there.
You remember the East Zone youth hunt last year with my grandson? It was definitely Argentina out there in Port Barry. When we get some reports from Port Barry, I talked to Buckley Kessler too also. By the way, I didn't show y'all this picture, but Buckley Kessler killed a cinnamon teal. Now, he had one already mounted he killed in Texas. But this is he killed in Mexico, excuse me. But this is very, very rare right here in this part of town. This is cinnamon teal. We show you the picture. Buckley Kessler killed it off of Highway 71. My brother and them been having some mixed reports. That wind Saturday was so bad. They had whitecaps in the crawfish ponds and everything. It was just unbelievable. But they killed some few ducks. So that was different. Another place we was getting that, Brett Rollins. Him and Lynn been having one of the best seasons ever in Angelina. So here's a picture of Lynn that Brett took of him and his buddy both days. Friday and Saturday. I got reports coming from Southwest Arkansas. Dwayne Chapman sent them up there north. Mike Eccles, with the radio show, and Larry Riffle. They killed a mallards and a mixed bag of them, and they had some woodies, but they're doing it. Then I'm gonna go. This is really good. Blast and cast. A young guy by the name of Cade Leader. His dad sent me a picture of his first deer. Also in the Elisa, Mississippi, they got a pond, a lake, and he was catching sac-a-lait. Here's a picture of Cade Leader with his deer and his sac-a-lait.
Congratulations to him. Before you get too far away from duck season, I wanted to tell you, talk to Blake Swallow at Full Strap and Stringer on the radio. You know, on the radio we do those live in the blind reports because we're on at the time when people are actually out there doing it real time, and the listeners love it. I found out I called Blake too late. We called him at 7:19 Saturday morning. He was already in the truck headed out with full limits of ducks. It was that good up there past Saturday on that Catahoula area where he hunts.
Before that big front.
Yeah, right.
That's where all the tornadoes were too, way up, and not just north of them. But I made a hunt myself, and I really got to shoot and had a great time. The guide up there, there been a lot of pressure, a lot of people. He asked me not to put it on TV. Here I am with my camera. But the good thing was, I got to shoot my gun. And I shot well. But I had Rick Capo. Rick Capo's been a long outdoorsman. Everybody knows him. He cooks. He's been fighting cancer. He's got a clean bill of health in him from MD Anderson the other day. He got to watch where he get around people. But when he said, got a room in the blind, he was there. The son of a gun still can shoot. We had a limit of ducks by 8:15. Okay, should have been earlier because some people didn't shoot as well. But
some people
they were win for us. We had 6 speckled bellies. One time we had 5 speckled bellies in there. Rick shot the first speckled belly they called in, early first in the morning, and then all of a sudden, in they come. The guy called them in, had 5 specks, 5 come in, none of them left. So we wound up with 6 speckled bellies. Here's some pictures. What a great time I got to shoot. No video, but we have a lot of video coming from Catahoula and everywhere we've been doing, hunts this year. So, Don, I want to thank them boys for letting me shoot.
There you go.
And
I understand that the freezers are filling up in venison too. Even though we're getting down to the last days of the deer season, boy, there's still a lot of hunters getting after the deer.
I'm looking. I got a deer from Philip Hines, and then one I'm really, really proud of is, by the way, I didn't mention, Dominic Randazzo killed his first, hunting with his dad, John. Dominic killed his first deer. We had a bunch of firsts, and then a big first deer, Beverly Corbella. Ingolio Corbella, all the famous over there from DA's office out in Blackman. Beverly has been a great friend for years. Her father-in-law, her brother-in-law, all of them hunt. Beverly's husband, Bud, convinced her to start deer hunting with him, be a buddy. She's retired. She went with them. They were hunting in Bayou Gula in Iberville Parish. Her first hunt ever, 11-point buck, 180 pounds. You see the picture?
Wow, Beverly, it's all downhill after that. It's going to be tough to top that.
I just said, Don, I don't believe I'm. And then again, we got some woodcock pictures. Stephen Pelche and Deacon Renee Pelche, 2 brothers over there and hunting around their deer, but that's where they hunt in Chapala. They say they're around Sherburne and everywhere else. So they have some woodcock there. Don't know where they're at. We got to find out Timmy and them doing. We got a few more days left.
Yeah, not much left before it closes. All right, anything else on the hunting scene?
I don't see it. That's it.
All right. Well, don't forget, keep sending us those pictures and your stories. It's great. Our viewers love to see it. Send it all to Gary at ParadiseLouisiana.com, and you could be the next star of next week's show. We'll see you then with another edition of Paradise Louisiana.